5 best face exercises to get perfect, strong, defined jawline for men. Exercises to get tightened chin. Secret to get a chiseled jawline. Reduce face fat in minutes. 3 exercises to lose chubby cheeks. Get a defined face. 6 ways to instantly have a better looking face. How to have a chiseled and stronger jawline. How to get rid of your double chin in 1 minute. What gets to me is that every single thumbnail is the same, where on one side of the image someone is clearly just leaning back to get that double chin, and then the other half of the image is just them leaning forward to get the better jawline. Either way, I've been seeing more and more of these style of videos, and it's getting to a point now where it's just so ridiculous, something needs to be said. There's some real exploiting of insecurities here, just for the sake of getting more views and easy revenue. And many of these videos contain false, unresearched information that can actually be dangerous. I want to make it clear before we get into this video, I'm no doctor, just the same as the creators of all those videos that I listed at the start. Throughout this video, we're going to be having a look at what doctors have actually got to say about this topic. Nevertheless, my university degree is to do with science education, and frankly, some educating needs to be done on this topic. I'm not going to let you leave this video without some value, so let's go over a few things that are actually going to affect your jawline. Number 1, significant weight loss. A guy who's 7 stone in weight is going to have a better jawline than a guy who's 30 stone in weight. If you've seen any of my older videos on this channel from about 2-3 years ago, I was about 1.5 stones lighter than I am now. And as such, you'll see that my jawline here is slightly more visible. I've got less overall body fat, and as a result, I've got less fat around my face. Losing weight does work. Obviously, just make sure that you don't lose weight to the extent where you're unhealthy. The second thing that's effective is cosmetic procedures. There's a wide variety of different things you can try here, all of which are going to come at a cost. You've got such things as fat removal, jaw implants, there's different types of injections around that you can have. You'll find more information about that in the sources that I'm going to link in the description of this video. They're going to give probably the quickest and most dramatic turnaround when it comes to the results. But as with any surgery, there are always extra things to consider. Next, there are a few things that may help a tiny bit. I'd call these more optical illusions than anything else, because you're not really changing anything physically about your jawline or your body as such. These more change the presentation of it. The first one is your facial hairstyle. If you've got a beard that's well trimmed to the jawline, it can give a more defined look, compared to a guy who lets his beard go all the way down his neck. Shorter stubble tends to work best here because often if you've got a longer beard, it can completely conceal the area. Second is your hairstyle. A hairstyle that's slightly tighter on the sides and back in comparison to the top can visually give your head overall a bit more shape and structure. Your head can start to look a little bit more circular and less structured if you start growing out the sides and back more. As with any of these things, it's your choice whether you do it, and admittedly, it only makes a small difference. And I guess one more thing is moisturizing the skin. Moisturizing daily can fractionally firm up the skin. If you're a 70-year-old man, it's obviously not going to make you look like a 20-year-old, but it can sometimes make a slight bit of difference around here. And there are a few things that are well known to cause problems with your skin and jawline as well. Basically, there's some things to avoid. One of the key ones is excess sun exposure. If you're blitzing your skin, going to the sunbeds every single day, your skin doesn't like it, funnily enough, and it can start to make your skin sag even more. Smoking is also known to cause similar harm to the skin, and obviously, if you're eating a really bad diet full of loads of fat and salt, that's not good for you. If you're morbidly obese, you're not going to have a good jawline. Okay, that's the logical, common sense stuff out of the way right there. I haven't particularly got a problem with that sort of stuff being mentioned. Nevertheless, in loads of the videos I've seen, they say that you're instantly going to have a godlike perfect jawline if you do a little bit of trimming to your beard. There's some massive exaggerations going on. It's a bit stupid. But now I'm going to speak about some of the lies. Just some of the absurd claims that are going on here, mainly for the sake of getting extra views or to look cool in the thumbnail. The first one is localized fat reduction. I've seen this one over and over and over again. People saying if you do this certain exercise, it's going to burn the fat on your face. Which, if you're not familiar with biology whatsoever, I guess it can sort of make a bit of sense. Because if you're working something out, you know, it's going to reduce the fat around there, surely. But the reality is, with the human body, you can't do localized fat reduction. this targeted fat loss to these facial areas that I've seen in loads of videos is impossible. I'll drop a couple of different scientific sources about this very specific topic in the description as well. Let's say you wanted to lose weight from your double chin, or your forearm, or your bum cheeks, or wherever. The only way that you can do that is by losing weight as a whole, by reducing your body fat percentage, by doing things like exercising and eating better, and then that'll take weight off your whole body. It is tricky though, because we all seem to put on weight in slightly different places when we do it. I know for me specifically, you see it worse in my face and on my stomach, and my limbs will remain really skinny in the process. So it's tempting to think that this targeted fat loss could do something about it. I wish it did, but it doesn't. Unfortunately, loads of YouTubers just haven't researched this at all, telling their viewers that they're gonna lose fat by doing stuff like this. It's just so stupid. And not just that, it doesn't work. There are videos of people putting weird squidgy balls in their mouth and then chewing on them and saying, you know, if you chew on this for an hour a day, you're gonna get a godlike jawline. Or saying that you need to chew gum 24/7 and then you're going to get a great jawline instantly. The reality is there's very little compelling evidence to support these claims. Most of the posts on websites and in forums about this sort of topic are really by companies who are selling these devices. If anything, there's actually more evidence the other way, with doctors saying things like the risks outweigh the benefits, and that such devices and exercises can actually cause permanent damage to the jaw joint, and that chewing too much gum causes jaw problems and headaches. Another one of these points that I see time and time again is about salt, essentially revolving around the true concept that salt can make you a tiny bit bloated. But this has just been blown way out of proportion, and almost implying that any sort of salt intake is going to immediately give you a fat face, with people in videos saying that cutting down on the salt in your diet is instantly going to give you a godlike jawline. It's just an absolute load of crap. If this factor made that much of a difference, McDonald's would be out of business, and every guy would be walking around with Brad Pitt's jawline, because all they have to do is cut down on a bit of salt, right? In reality, this factor is only going to make a fractional difference. And if you're eating a healthy diet as part of the tips I mentioned at the start, it's likely that you're not eating that much salt anyway. And another hilarious one that I've seen time and time again, going back to the face exercises, it's basically that face exercises stop wrinkles, with people saying that the more you're moving certain areas of the face, it's going to tighten up all your skin, and then you're going to have no wrinkles left. Let's have a look at why wrinkles form. We normally see wrinkles in old people, not because they haven't done weird facial exercises, it's because of a reduced amount of elastin in the body as they age. And that's what loosens up the skin and consequently causes some of the wrinkles. Doctors actually say that these sorts of facial exercises are more likely to cause excess wrinkles, with these unnatural repeated movements really drilling it into the skin. So what's actually happening here then? Really, genetics, the bone structure that's been passed down to you from your parents. And unfortunately, there's nothing you can do to control that. The same as your height or your eye color. The bone structure of your jaw is the determining factor in 99% of cases as to whether you've got a good jawline or not. And unfortunately, this stupid jawline craze has been brought about by certain people who are genetically gifted, who've decided to head onto social media and think they can teach others about how to get what they've got. What we need to realize is that in reality, this isn't what people look like. I could head into my local town and not see a single person with a jawline even close to theirs, and that these silly beauty standards are just set by the filter that is social media. When it comes to jawline movement, we already do enough when we talk or when we eat. I'm positive that this whole thing is just a placebo effect, and I'm kind of sick of certain people like this who are obviously naturally really attractive, heading online and almost abusing their assets for the sake of views and revenue, and completely misleading their audience, giving them false hope. In the long run, that isn't good for people's mental health. Let me know what you think about all this sort of stuff in the comment section. This is an interesting topic, and I'm just sick of seeing this topic on a weekly basis now. It's getting ridiculous. You can't hack your way to a better jawline. If you enjoyed this one, press the like button, share this video with someone who may have fallen for this trap, and subscribe for more. I'll see you in the next one, boys.